Hello there, this is SD, and the hour of doom has arrived. It is time to play Stealth B. We have won 53 in a row. We are very close to a double cycle. And to get there, we first have to defeat this most terrible of all ships in FTL. Death. Losing is part of the fun. No, it isn't. So, let's vent to below 50%. Well, there's a store directly behind us, which we will not be going to. Are there bottlenecks that we need to be wary of? Doesn't look like it. We can go sort of here. Stealth B is very wary of bottlenecks just because it's so terrible at dealing with hazards that you need to be concerned that, if there's this one jump you have to go through to get to the rest of the sector and it's an asteroid field or whatever. But it looks like we can avoid that in this case. So let's practice my micro pausing. Cool. Okay, let's make sure trackers are all on, etc. Yes, the tracker is on. In a tiny asteroid belt. Fortunately, this can't lead to a fight, so we can just try to shield their ship with ours. How precisely we stopped their ship from being destroyed by the asteroids is anyone's guess, but whatever. We take 2 points of damage there because that burns out, but still, we got 19 scrap, and that's very good. As far as first jumps go on Stealth B, that is one of the better ones you could have. Vent back down to below 50. Okay, we've got some fights that we can go to. Hopefully we can get 50 scrap quickly and get our cloaking upgraded. We have a maximum of one other store in this sector, although I find on Stealth B, getting useful stores early on is not generally feasible because you have to get this cloaking upgrade desperately, and then from there you need to build up scrap before a store would be useful. And usually you can't get enough for, say, hacking to be possibly bought. So I typically prefer going to stores in Sector 2. And we may have no choice in this because that could be the only store in the sector. Okay, so this is a double scrap reward, and they have no shields, and they have 2 weapons that will go off at the same time, so this is pretty good. Oh, I forgot to actually... Here, you go here for a moment. I'm gonna run you in there now. Bah! I have failed the depower thing. Okay, I need to go start fighting this now. But I need to keep my weapons manned, so send the other 2. You know, this is one of the dangers, of course, of having the oxygen drain down, is if you get hit in oxygen and it starts fires, you have a very difficult time getting them out before the oxygen runs out and you run out of hit points. But there is no safe way to play Stealth B. Still, we are 2 jumps in and we have 43 scrap. That is... and we've only taken a little bit of damage. 5. No, 4 actually, because there was that fire there, but we got hit by a heavy laser and it destroyed the system, so yeah. 4 damage and 43 scrap. That is a great ratio on this piece of garbage. Okay, let's this time try to not fuck up. Oh, there is another store. I'm probably not going to it, but we'll see. This is obviously the place to go to get some more scrap, and as long as we win a fight, we will get... Even the lowest amount that you can get in a fight is 7. And as long as the fight is winnable, we will get that. But that depends. Okay, this is a double reward possibility, again. And these weapons are fairly favorable. Can I actually, because they're going to board me, because they have a teleporter, I am wondering if this can be pre-cloaked. Let's see, my glaive beam takes 25 seconds to be ready to fire. And that goes down to 22.5 as a result of the as a result of it being manned. And since we can cloak for 10 seconds, that effectively means 12. They get 12.5 seconds of charge time. I cannot recall how long the small bomb takes. Small bomb, is it 13 or 14? It's 13. I don't think I can safely pre-cloak. I could pre-cloak the chain laser, but because this... I could get the weapon to fire, but I don't know whether the animation would finish by the time this goes off. And also, even if I start in weapons, it won't take that down. It would only do 2 damage to the weapon system. So I think I'd want to actively cloak when the bomb goes off, and if I do that, I can fire and kill them before the chain laser gets to fire. Unless they board me in weapons, which they might. I might actually want to oxygenate certain parts of my ship a bit more, just because, like, if he boards me in medbay, I'd rather that he go in there than that he runs to weapons. Okay, that's fine. You can wail away on the sensors. It means I can't do the depower trick, but, you know, I'm not too unhappy about that anyway. Let him punch that for a while. It's got a buffer point anyway. Fuck! You fucking asshole. Okay, well. Now everything is awful. If I vent you out here, you're gonna run into my weapons, aren't you? I mean, we may now be running away from this fight, because that chain laser is gonna spin up faster and faster. I think I'm gonna vent you out, I'm gonna leave, and I can actually come back to this fight. So, I mean, this means because you're in there, I'm not going to be able to fix my weapons. Run you into piloting. And then you take over fighting. But yeah, I will leave this, jump to the beacon we were just at, deal with this border, and fix my stuff. I knew you might do that. Okay, you have enough health that one laser won't kill you, so let's just make sure that you are not running between rooms, because then he might hit both rooms. And even if we somehow get bombed in weapons again, they won't have their crew member back, actually. We killed them, and as far as I know, It's exactly like the flagship. If you kill somebody on a ship and then you go back and take the fight again, they're still dead. So they shouldn't board me at all, or they might board me with one person. I'm really not certain, but we shall see. Even if they bomb me in weapons again, well, that would be bad, but we have a chance to dodge again, and at least they've used a couple of missiles if worst comes to worst. Okay, they do in fact board me. I should be timing this to do the sensor stash, and I haven't been. So 13 seconds and 16 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna run now because I'd already used a couple seconds, and I was still too late to actually depower it. Damn it, I did not vent that in time. You go man the weapons. There we go. I think maybe I running the guy out of weapons was the wrong choice there, and because of that I took that 1 point of damage from the chain laser that I think I otherwise would not have taken. But it's fine. The critical thing is, even though we had that annoying setback with the small bomb going off in there and took some extra damage as a result, we have this now. And things can go quite a bit smoother from here, although we're still, we still have some problems. At this point, I don't generally recommend doing the vent down anymore. And yeah, we're definitely not going to that store. We only have one jump before it. Any jump that we can take doesn't appear to have a ship at it. I'm gonna just go around it. I'm not sure that I want to go into this nebula because low power battles is something that Stealth B is really, really bad at. But on the other hand, we should look. We have the scanners, so we'll be able to spot if it was that. Let's let my oxygen refill. That's good enough. Okay, yeah, surrender your stuff to me. This ship, there's no danger at all. We cloak immediately. Blade beam kills before they get to fire. Run you into there so I can turn the oxygen on. Now this does allow me to steal power back, but it's very important, do not have your Zoltan leave the room until the cloak is over. Otherwise, you will end the cloak early, and then you do not get to fire before these go off. Yeah, you can see there, we only just managed that in time. Ah, damn, all the fights are down there, but there's a inconveniently placed asteroid field. I could go something like 1, 2, 3, 4 there, up. Yeah, I think that might be my best path. Let's just make sure that I have enough jumps for it. Helps if I use the right side of the ruler so that I know my measurements. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I probably have 6. I'm not actually certain that I do. I can reevaluate when I'm here, and if I think I don't have enough room, I can just go here, there, and there. We're avoiding all of the... It means we're not going in the nebula, but so what. I really wish this, that say the asteroid field was there, because then I would just go here, here, there. But I can't do that. This is a possible double reward that we can safely pre-cloak, so we are absolutely taking this fight. We were fortunate that we didn't see any mini-beams prior to getting Cloak 3, since the mini-beam is the worst weapon to see on an enemy when you're playing Stealth B and you still only have the default level of cloaking. Well, we should have accepted the surrender, I guess. Oh well. Well, these guys have drones, but it may not be offensive. And even if they are, we can deal with it. Okay, it's a Beam 2 drone, that's very annoying. They always aim at the middle of the room they're aiming at. I think that's aimed at doors. The problem is, I'm not 100% sure that that is aimed at doors. And even if it is, a Beam 2 has a high likelihood that they hit doors and drag into weapons, so I'm cloaking this. So unfortunately, like, we'll pre-cloak this, but there will be a gap where after the cloak ends, where I should actually be doing this to charge my FTL in case of the worst case scenario. But yeah, there will be a time period here after the cloak ends where they may swipe my weapons. Fortunately, that did not occur. You know, there is a debate to be had on Stealth B about, oh, what fights should you take? And there is one option you could take, which is if you see a fight and the enemy has drones, you just skip all of them. I think that is too conservative to do, because it risks... Stealth B doesn't just risk dying due to Sector 1, sudden deaths, although that is obviously something it's incredibly vulnerable to. I think I don't have 4 jumps here, by the way. I think I have to go here, here, and there. It's probably about 50-50 that I could do that, but I'm not willing to take that risk because I'm playing Stealth B. But there's an idea that, yeah, maybe you want to dodge any fight where they have drones because they might be offensive drones and they're all awful. I think that's too conservative an approach to take because it results in really falling short on scrap. And while Stealth B doesn't need that much scrap to win a run, as we saw the last time I played this and I won with about 1,300 scrap, you need most of that scrap early in the game because you need shields and you need the level 3 cloak and you need some way to scale to beat enemies that have 2 shields, and you need to get all of those things. Ideally, you need at least 2 of those 3 things by the end of Sector 2, and ideally all 3. And you need all 3 by the end of Sector 3 usually. You can pass on shields if you get really good offensive options, but so yeah. In the early sectors, when you're most at risk, you're not just at risk of dying in fights, you're also at risk of skipping too many fights, not making enough scrap, and not being able to scale. Hail the refugee ship. Excellent! This is a double reward guaranteed. It's a coffin ship. We can crew kill! Don't try crew killing when you're playing Stealth B. Unless you fight that one Mantis ship. $27 scrap. We can now afford hacking. We're not too far off being able to afford shields. We need 23 more scrap to be in the position where we could sell long-range scanners for shields, which you should absolutely do if you get that option in Sector 2. But ideally we would buy the shields and not have to sell scanners. Or even more ideally we would buy hacking. Okay, the only threat here is if they teleport directly into my weapons. But we can cloak immediately. I'm going to run my pilot to doors so that if they board me anywhere other than weapons, I can keep them out. So there's actually another risk here. I can get a four-room swipe. I think that kills. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 2, 2, 3, 3. I could alternatively do this and swipe weapons in the hopes of getting an extra point of weapon training. The reason I'm not going to do that, because that would take both of these weapons down. The reason I'm not going to do that is they'll have an NG to repair. And yeah, that could be one of those weapons could be repaired and able to fire before we got to fire our glade beam a second time. I'm not even going to bother to run you out. I'm going to just leave you in there. No. Let's vent this idiot from my ship. Well, actually, if you're going to go to my med bay, I'll just fight you in there. Hooray! Combat skill. Nothing. I think I should take this because this gets me above the threshold where I can, if I see an immediate store, like maybe the next sector, I have only one store and it's forced first jump. This puts me in the situation where I would be able to sell long-range scanners to buy shields. Okay, we did have an extra jump, but look at that. That is, you can see why I thought that was a very, very close call, because it indeed was. But I am going to pop out for just a moment. Okay, we're back. So we're obviously going to the civilian sector here. Okay. No immediate store. Let's go here to see these bottom jumps and then up. We do not want that. We don't deal well with low power situations, although any fight there would be skippable, but the thing is it also doesn't see any jumps. So it's clearly here first. Okay. So drones, this is a guaranteed double reward fight, so I think I'm taking it regardless. And good, it's not an offensive drone, which means we just cloak and they die. .21's crap. And our efficient pathing has found us a store. Please have hacking. It's been a while since I've had a stealth B run where I've been able to get hacking instead of shields at the first store. And I find it just goes a lot smoother if you can hack. But no, I don't get hacking. Buy the shields. You absolutely cannot afford, like, there is definitely another store in this sector, and maybe that store will have hacking and we won't now be able to afford it, but I can't rely on that, and for all I know, the next store will have no systems at all. So if you get the option to buy shields, you have to take it. You cannot let it pass. Now, I won't necessarily need those that much in this sector, although it may be helpful if we fight enemies that do have offensive drones. This doesn't see anything. I'm not going to go there. But in a lot of fights, I'm just going to continue pre-cloak and deal with enemies that way. Now, if I'm very precise with my timing, I might be able to get the shields in time, but possibly not. Okay, 2 damage, that's fine. suppose that in the event of things like that happening, I should be actually going into the battle with my shields powered to stop that. Because the fact that my shields weren't powered forced me to cloak immediately. So, that's my bad. So yeah, I guess go in like this. Sure, we will take a fight that uses only half fleet pursuit. It is very good, at least, that we were, even though, you know, we got shields, which is the less preferred option than getting hacking, we did manage to get shields without having to sell the long-range scanners, which the last time that we played the ship on this channel, of course, I had to sell the scanners for that, and that resulted in significant part, I think, in that just not getting any frigging scrap. And that made the rest of the run much, much rougher, and if I had just been able to, you know, hold on to the scanners, I would have been much better off. I think I might just take this fight, skip this one. This sees way more. And go here, there. I mean, my alternative, I suppose, is I can go here, here, and then there. Actually, I don't have any particularly great reason to not do that. This sees less in the immediate term. In fact, doesn't see anything, because I've already seen this beacon. But I need to go here to see this, really. I suppose I could go here and here. That's an alternative. I'm gonna do that. I could start working on my shields, but I want to actually level the first shield bubble is perfectly fine as we currently are, and I would like to have the option if I were to get to 80 scrap and find another store with cloaking. I would like with cloaking, I already have it. With hacking, I would like to have the option of buying. If I spend scrap on upgrading my shields, I definitely will not have that opportunity. But if I hold on to my money, I might. I only need 22 more scrap to be able to do it, and I would in that instance sell long-range scanners for it. Okay, well that sells for 22 scrap, funnily enough. This incidentally is not just useful as self-fodder. If we take a hit in weapons, I can power this. We can take asteroid fields now that we have shields, but I'm not going to take an asteroid field that sees no beacons. I'm going to keep going to try to find stores. I have no way of knowing which of these fights is better, so we just go to one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I swipe from shields to, that'll do 2, 3, 3, and kill them. Because starting in shields, it'll do enough damage that it takes the shield bubble down. Actually, I don't want to vent you out because that will vent you potentially towards weapons. Let's go punch you now. Yep, I can now afford hacking without having to sell long-range scanners because of the Hermes missile. Okay, store is either here or here. There's possibly stores at both of those beacons. Unfortunately, I can't take this fight and still have the option to go here, because it'd be taken over too early. So I have to go and look now. If we get hacking, I'm going to really want those drone parts. On the other hand, this ship does quite want power. I wish I could look at the map, but actually, I know there's a store that I will have the option to go to. I'm going to refuse. Okay, there's the store. Do I have enough space to backtrack to that beacon? No, I don't, which is a pity, because if I'd known, of course, the store was going to be here, I would have gone there, store. But I did not know the store was there. I don't think I have enough time to do this, and this, do I? No. I have to go straight to the store. Means if hacking is there, I need to sell the Hermes missile for it, but that's fine. Yeah, we do that. And I'm glad I kept those drum parts. Now, you generally want level 2 hacking before you go into Sector 2 to be able to do this stuff, but the thing is, normally I would want that on a ship where I don't have shields. I have shields on this, so I'm not as vulnerable. I don't absolutely need to one-shot every single fight. Still, I will be getting hacking 2 next, and then I'm going to buy a crap load of power. Yeah, examine the station. Rebel or Pirate. Rebel can have drone ships, offensive drone ships that have 2 drones. I mean, Pirate technically can as well, but it's much more likely in Rebel. This does mean I have a 4th sector next, so I could be forced into Zoltan, but we'll deal with that if it happens. Because now I am more interested in pushing upgrades than stores, I will just farm fights, even if, like here, they don't see any new beacons. I want hacking 2, and then I want 5 power. I will still shield hack here, even though I can't get the shields all the way down. Still, but getting them down to 1 still means I can do a lot of damage to weapons. I'm not sure that I timed that correctly. I'm not used to level 1 hacking shields. That did get them both down. It's not a terrible offer, but I want more scrap. A level 1 hack on shields has a 50-50 chance to get through 2 shield bubbles, and there we got the good outcome. But if it had only got through 1 shield bubble, it still would have been enough to allow me to do a swipe that would damage the shields and then end up doing 3 damage to weapons, which would have been the critical thing there that would have shut both their weapons down. Because they only had level 3 weapons. We shall attack this pirate. Feels like almost every enemy so far has had boarding. Recloak. Actually, run oxygen for a moment, because I don't need to send the hack over until I'm out of cloaking. Or close to being out of cloaking, like now. Actually, I didn't need to hack here at all. I should have paid attention to the fact they only have 1 fucking shield bubble. I also timed that wrong. Well, I've totally fucked this up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can't one-shot this by starting in shields. I need to hit weapons. They're gonna get to keep this missile up now because I failed. no, apparently they're going to keep that up, which is more annoying. Can I pull the power of that and then go back in here? Get a shield bubble. Of course they did. Well, this is all my fault, so... You go in there. Let's just buy time to do this. Power shenanigans. I think these guys get out anyway, unfortunately. Because, yeah, that FTL is charging and I'm not going to get to fire before they complete that. I need to be very careful of where that bomb is going. I do not want them to kill one of my crew as a parting gift. Oh, maybe we do get this off. I'm very surprised by that. Okay, we took a bunch of damage there that we shouldn't have, but on the positive side, we now have level 2 hacking, or we will once I bother to buy the upgrade, which I guess I'll just do now. I'll also start buying power. And we have a map! There's not very many fights for this being a pirate sector. Not guaranteed to have much of any scrap for those stores. I wouldn't mind just going and getting some repairs. I can deal with a fight of the Sword Flyer, I think, now that I have shields. Maybe I should have thought otherwise, but... I want to be able to cloak this at level 3, but I have no way to currently do this without pulling my shield bubble down. I was hoping this would fire in time to pop the first shield bubble and then I could redirect power like that. But if I do that now, it means the shield bubble isn't there and that can hit me through. I'm gonna cloak level 2. Fuck off, game. We literally could die because of that, because we do not have very much health. I'm abandoning the charging the weapons. Let's just try to get the fuck out of here. This run is going quite well. I do not want to die because we got hit multiple times through fucking cloak. You go fix the shields. The oxygen. go fix the doors. I'm very worried about what happens the next time the solar flare goes off. I'm also very worried about this fucking hull beam. I think we're dead. Yeah, like this whole beam's gonna kill us. Oh my god. Now we're dead. Stealth B, I do not fucking know what to fucking say about that. That was in such a good shape. We were like just 1 or 2 fights away. And that wasn't because the fight was in the solar flare, albeit the solar flare that went off did not help me. But fundamentally, we got hit 3 times through cloaking, including 1 in weapons. I literally just needed a little bit more scrap so that I could get everything powered properly. And a store where I could repair. Maybe I could have skipped the fight, but then I don't have any scrap to do anything at the store. And I knew I needed to go to the store to get some fucking repairs. I'm very, very frustrated about that because we were just a few steps away from being fine. We were so close to being stable. But Stealth B has killed another streak. That is my second best streak, as that got to 53. I will start another streak at some point in the next little while. I might take a bit of a break, but not too long. I will see you next time. Bye for now. Hello there, this is SD, and it's been a couple days since we lost a streak, so I thought I'm going to take another look at the fight that killed us, because I've used the FTL Save Game Manager to bring this back up. So Mike Hopley mentioned when we were discussing this when I posted about this in the FTL Discord, a different way to do this fight. I thought I'd give that a try. I'm going to do a couple more goes where I do what I did in the actual fight first. Basically what he said is that what you could do, cloak level 3 at the beginning of the fight, because then if I do a glade beam swipe, I'm guaranteed to get it off before these weapons go off, and I'm taking off one of these 2 weapons, which is definitely very helpful and not something I considered particularly carefully at the time, I think. My concern was that I knew that I would keep this, I knew that I would keep this missile up, take a bunch of missile shots, and it's highly likely that they knock the glade beam down. As it happened, the glade beam got knocked offline anyway, and that's what led to the death spiral. But that feels like an extremely low odds outcome, since I had to get hit 3 times through cloak by a volley of 3 shots. But let's try a couple more goes with the strategy I actually used at the time, which is basically this. And we active cloak both the missile and the burst slicer. We get hit in piloting again. I'm not actually 100% sure. It's hard to tell whether or not that missile had already crossed the shield barrier in time. And I wondered about that when watching the... Now I need to get some power. Oh yes, I should have used my hack. I'm being silly. It is definitely a problem that I have, like, no power for this fight. Well, I can't dodge this, so I might as well just deal with that. I need my shield up for the solar flare. Oh, well, the solar flare conveniently took my hack down anyway. But yeah, as you can see, and you know, after this, we will be taking a bunch of solar flares because we have to get stuff fixed before we can leave. But we're basically fine. Go and fix this first, because as I recall, we have a store we were jumping to, which is the whole reason I went to this fight in the first place, was to get some scrap to go to a store and buy repairs. You go over there. You might as well start fixing that. We'll take one more solar flare on the way out. Okay. Yeah, well, we didn't quite exactly have a store, but regardless. Let's try this other strategy that Mike suggested, because I think that maybe is a better play in this scenario. Oop. I need to run this guy around. Guess I don't quite need the shield bubble up yet. You go in there. I mean, it helps if this time I dodge at 10% while not cloaked, whereas previous times while cloaked I failed to dodge at, you know, ridiculous percent. So here's one huge problem with doing this. My solar flare, my shields are not up for the solar flare. Can I get them up in time? I don't know that I can. Oop, just in time. Did cost me a level of my hack, but... Yeah, it definitely looks like this was the play in this fight. I mean, we should have taken 1 damage there, because it was absurd that we dodged that missile at 10%. But even so, it looks like we were only taking 1 missile. So, I guess that was indeed the correct play. As typically is the case, Mike is correct on what you should do in an FTL run. If he suggests something, you should probably do it, albeit obviously he did not suggest that live. It was only after the fact that I died. And I didn't really consider that too much at the time. I guess I underestimated how many times, or overestimated how many times that missile would get to go off while it was down. Did it go off twice? Or once? I think it went off... No, it did only go off once, didn't it? I am failing to remember the events that literally just happened, which is not a good sign generally. Let's do it again and just see how that goes. So this is a more typical sort of outcome. Get the shield up in time for the beam. And the solar flare. Yeah, they do indeed only get 1 missile shot off, because of course I get the cloak a second time. So yeah, absolutely this should have been the play. It was a misplay on my part. We shouldn't have lost the streak. Well, that's on me. So, yeah, hopefully next time I don't mess up. There are quite a few things in this run that were like just the thing that I've been coming back to repeatedly in the, well, I've been thinking over it, is like in the macro, it's so annoying that I had the first store in Sector 2 had shield and not hacking, and then subsequently I bought hacking. at the next store, because this is actually the second time. I had one that happened offline when my computer was on the fritz, where I died on Stealth B after buying both shields and hacking, but where I didn't have enough time to sort of upgrade things enough to properly use them. Like here, I don't have enough power to run everything remotely well, and had I survived my next numerous jumps, I would have just been buying power bars. Oh, and we would have got a crew member at the next step that gave us, at the next jump that gave us extra power, which would have helped. But yeah, if I had skipped shields at the first one, of course I would have been in a much better situation, but I only can know that because I knew that we get hacking later in that sector. The other alternative is that maybe I should have skipped hacking and just bought the second shield bubble, but I don't think that ends up well. You fight a ship like the one that ended up killing us with just level 2 shields and no hacking. It's very easy to just take a load of damage because you can't get rid of a missile. Well, regardless, I definitely misplayed the actual fight itself. It seems like you get much better results, even though in the majority of cases it would not have mattered, because what we had happen is the absolute worst case scenario. But using the method that Mike suggested of pre-cloaking at level 3, the absolute worst case scenario isn't nearly as bad as the worst case scenario of what I played, and I was wrong in thinking that if we did something like that, we were going to take 2 or 3 missiles with a high chance of those going into our weapons. It looks like we only take 1, and that's probably a better risk. It's sort of a matter of what's a better risk to take. Is it taking 3 shots while actively cloaked, or 1 while not cloaked? And it's difficult to be certain on that, but it seems like the worst case scenario with the 1 shot while not cloaked is not as bad as the worst case scenario with the 3 shots while actively cloaked, so that is the path that we should have gone. Oh well. Anyhow, I shall see you next time for when we start a new streak. Bye for now.